All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Nerdy Live, episode 28. Today, we're going to be going over Turkey Tom's Andrew Tate video. You guys remember Andrew Tate? He was actually part of the first subject that we did for the revival of Nerdy Live. If you remember, he was arrested in Romania for allegedly trafficking young women to do his cam girl site. From what I know, though, he has been released from prison. I don't know if charges have been pressed yet or anything of that sort. But Turkey Tom did a video, and quite honestly, I want to see how he did. I want to see how Turkey Tom did in the video. So here we go, right here. This is 42 minutes long. I know Andrew Tate's quite the character. I didn't know we would get like 42 minutes of content out of it, though. So I'm kind of interested to see where Tom goes specifically with this video.
Yeah, it's difficult because you...
Please do not attack or harass any of the people mentioned in this video. This is have been created for edutainment, not for the purpose of riling up a mob to harass other people. Thank you. Luckily, I don't have to worry about that sort of thing. Luckily, I don't have to worry about that with having a really small audience, so I don't have to worry about anyone going out to harass. But I assume everyone here watching knows not to do that, hopefully.
You have a lot of people who will sell their soul, and they sell their soul to the devil just to keep their platform or just to be promoted.
Kickboxing world champion, multi-millionaire, and online provocateur, Andrew Tate is everywhere. Across sites like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, his controversial...
Oh my god, like, I think because Andrew Tate's been a topic for, more broader commentary channels for, I want to say, close to 3 years at this point. People like Mr. GG and Leon Lush, and probably the other really popular broad commentary dudes have been making videos on him for quite a while. He's made outrageous statements he's the male guru type figure, right? So it's going to be easy for people to make fun of him. So of course they're going to do so. But recently he's been blowing up because he's paid people to use their TikTok channels to promote only his videos. So there's a dozen or so Andrew Tate TikTok accounts that do nothing but used clips of podcasts he was on, videos he's released, and that's where I've seen the rise of popularity with him. But yeah, let's continue.
Made him a notorious part of the online space. His views on women, masculinity, and politics have made him the man people love to hate. And his popularity has exploded because of it.
If I'm in love with a woman and she comes with me and she insists on doing OnlyFans, my answer to retain my control and my respect in my relationship is for her to pay me.
Although, this is not the first time he's received pushback for his views. The wave of attention that catapulted Tate's climb to internet infamy was back in April of 2019, when, on his since then suspended Twitter account, he posted about his disinterest in the Star Wars franchise.
This was the thing that I remember Mr. GG covering, was that whole Star Wars thing. Also, I thought that was on his Instagram, though. I thought that was on his Instagram, not his Twitter. Oh well.
Never seen Star Wars. None of them. Never will. Oh my god, you're missing out. Maybe. You're missing out on being a multi-millionaire. Keep your movie. But who really is Andrew Tate? His website only seems to give a cursory overview of a man
Yo,
far more complicated.
what's good, John? Yo, what's up, Jason?
Detractors believe. To some, he's a misogynist, a sexist dinosaur, if you will.
A
Somebody who wants their
sexist
wealth and
dinosaur.
is totally out of touch with reality. To others, he's an example of what a man should be. With no filter, he speaks uncomfortable truths. Somebody who's made it. A real Sigma male. In reality, both sides give in to the narrative that Tate wants you to. He doesn't care that people hate him. In fact, whatever you think of him, the fact that you know him, that you've already passed judgment on him, means he's already won. He tops the popularity contest.
What was that crappy effect he had in his video? Not Tom, I'm talking about Andrew Tate. Did he pay someone to do that effect, or was he such an alpha male that he did that effect himself? Look at this.
Think of him. The fact that you know him, that you've
Oh my
already
God,
passed
that's
judgment
awful.
on him, means he's already won. He tops the
That's
popularity
terrible, Jesus.
contest that is online e-celebrity through his infamy. So today, we're going to explore some of his history to give you a better idea of the man behind the Bentleys and Bugattis. I am called a sociopath, psychopath, narcissist, arrogant, etc. Nobody questions my success or intellect, as they are indisputable. They only question my character, as that's a subjective assessment. I consider myself a nice man, but I am clearly superior to anyone.
Jesus Christ. Jesus.
Yeah, I had amazing parents. Yeah, I had an amazing father, an amazing mother. I think they both did their particular job very, very well. It was a clearly gendered household. From a very young age, I was moved up a bunch of grades because I was clearly a genius from the start. Played a lot of chess, moved to England, started fighting, kicked a bunch of ass, and here I am. That's basically it, really.
Emery Andrew Tate was born on December 1st, 1986, in Washington, D.C. Most of what we know about Andrew Tate's upbringing was written by Tate himself, so obviously take the following with a grain of salt. Believe me, this stuff gets wild.
Hi,
Writing about his life
Vanessa?
or kickboxing story
I think that's how you pronounce your username.
Sidekick,
Apologies
this chapter
if
might
I
be
didn't.
called Humble Beginnings. However, his writing is anything but. Andrew describes how both his grandfather and father were strict men who overcame the racial disparity of the time through unyielding hard work and physical capability. He describes his father as my role model in many ways, detailing how he was a young athlete learning wrestling in school. His father would not only join the military and remain in post for 11 years, but he was also a formidable international master chess player. According to Tate's website, his father won the U.S. Armed Forces Championship 3 times and defeated several grandmasters during his career. His
I mean, that's interesting.
father's
If that's
prolific,
true.
borderline record-setting level of play is something Andrew makes constant reference to.
The
to
alpha
this
male
day.
edits his videos. My dude doesn't need touch that shit.
Beautiful tactician. And my father played chess the way I kickbox. No defense. Pure attack.
Despite Tate's chess lineage and his apparent love for the game, his chess.com account's highest level was 1894. Certainly well above average, but far from an
LOL, he
international
got
master.
daddy issues. Yeah, he got daddy issues. I don't know. It sounds like he's got mommy issues too. That's what I'm guessing. I think he's got mommy issues.
Game. It's worth noting that this score has fallen further to just 1605 as of writing this video in mid-2022. This is a recurring trait of Andrew Tate's. He may be talented, but he often exaggerates his own skill and ability for attention. This attention from his supposed mastery is then funneled into online courses. In this case, there's a $200 chess course. Of course,
One of his many courses that he sells to you, and you're a sucker, a pure and simple sucker if you end up buying any of these. Oi, yo, what's up, Reload Studios? What's up?
featuring pictures of Andrew strategizing alongside
Pronounce
a
it perfectly,
harem of
John.
girls. Back to his real,
Jay,
very honest
I feel the guy
autobiography.
may
At this
have
point, he
more
kind
than
of just
daddy
writes
issues,
nonsense
LOL.
for fun.
True.
He describes his birth, claiming,
Alpha male
2
power,
weeks
I meant.
overdue, I was nose breathing already, which sounds like a cool anecdote until you realize all babies breathe through their noses, since they're physically unable to breathe through their mouths. According to Andrew, the doctor would then squeeze his thigh, and apparently Tate growled, knitting his brow, and trying to see who had attacked him. The doctor, pale, shocked at my defensive powers. I did not cry. Andrew would begin his escapades in the combat sport very young, coming second in a county
Oh, I
wrestling
can't
championship
take
for
this
kindergartners
seriously, dude.
when he
I
was only 4
can't.
years old. Describing his childhood, he said, I never learned to cry for attention, only used grunts to indicate hunger or discomfort, but mostly I was silent.
What, like a-
I had a large
What, like a caveman? Me hungry. Oh, me need diaper change. Was that him as a baby? What? What? Okay, Andrew. Okay.
crib, but most every night I slept on my dad's chest. He would place me there and sleep
Not
still,
for 2K.
never moving in the night, and our heartbeats were and are as one. On a more serious note, not all was perfect for the family, with both of his parents working minimum wage jobs. Andrew's mother decided to move with the children back to England when they fell upon hard times. Tate's father would not join them, instead continuing to compete in chess competitions.
Yeah, it was quite different. I mean, obviously, when you're a kid, you're more susceptible to things like, you know, you're at the time I was the only American in school, and the education was different. Like, you go from learning certain lessons to completely new things. And I was really big into chess when I was in America. There was no chess scene, so it was a complete 180 in terms of lifestyle. But I think kids adapt, and I'm really a strong believer in the fact.
Oh god, Tommy was right. Like, this dude, like, has a lot of like American cadence down, and then there's like a word where he pronounces it weird and gives him like a weird accent.
Fact that I'm very thankful my parents didn't give me any sympathy in that regard. Like,
No
when we
sympathy
moved,
for you. No sympathy.
My dad's sisters were saying, "Oh, he's losing all his friends. He's moving country. He needs therapy. He's going to be upset." That all this shit. And I'm super glad my parents said, "You're a Tate. You're going to be fine. Shut up and go to school." And you just get on with it, don't you? 1 week in, you now live in England, and
You're a Tate. More like you're a taint. Oh, obvious joke for the win.
I believe children can be that way if they're trained to be that way. So for a while, it was
This
kinda
dude's
weird, but then
birth
after a while,
story
you go
is
to school and
amazing.
you go,
Sounds like my man was born from a warrior race.
As the
LOL.
eldest sibling, Andrew would have to become the man of the
Dude, he might be the first Klingon. We don't know. He could be the very first Klingon. Remember, Klingons didn't have the ridges in the original Star Wars series. Who knows? Who knows?
house. He began taking up work transporting frozen fish for the market at 5 a.m. before going to school. On the weekends, Andrew would perfect his knife skills, flawlessly filleting fish at blinding speeds. Following teasing from his peers due to his American accent, and his younger brother, Tristan Tate, beating up the school bully, Andrew's mother would enroll the two into self-defense courses. During this time, Andrew would begin creating his own form of martial arts, known as Tate Shinkai.
Tate Shinkai. At the age of 12, he made his own martial arts, called Tate Kai.
Andrew then retreated to a magical land of Wudang Mountain in China, where he lived for centuries of human time, learning forbidden arts. But before I go any
sweet
further,
Jesus.
a message from
Sweet
today's
Jesus.
sponsor, Galaxy Lamps. Listen,
I'll let the ad play. You know, Turkey Tom, he deserves it.
Right
He
now,
deserves the
with
ad.
The floor covered in empty energy drink cans and Cheeto dust. Well, the Galaxy projector will light up any room.
You know,
with
I was
powers
actually
ranging
thinking
from
about getting
stars
that,
and
the
colorful
Galaxy
nebulae.
projector.
It's basically this little device that you can put anywhere.
The
in your
ridges,
home. Use it
lol.
for the entire room, just the ceiling.
Dude,
one
I'm just
wall.
saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Andrew Tate might be the first Klingon. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm suggesting here. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if, like, 100 years from now, like, for some reason, Andrew Tate's descendants start calling themselves Klingons.
You'll have 15% off your order.
That's my
So,
headcanon.
click the link
That's
in the
the
description
anime
below
lore
and
for
get your own
this.
Galaxy projector now. All right, back to the video. While others complain they do not feel happy enough, I'm happy that I'm struggling. I don't want to be happy. I want to be great. This is the beauty of life as a man. We are born valueless, and you either build yourself into a king, or you fail. Atop Wudang, I told Priest
Or you make yourself into a nerd.
Master Yan Hui how at peace I felt amongst the trees. I could feel life all around me. Sitting at the foot of the largest tree, I asked him, when life is so beautiful, why do we fight? His reply was simple. Do you think the largest tree you sit beneath grew so tall amongst many if it didn't fight?
And people don't want to look at life that way. They want to talk about work life.
Why are we losing connection here? Why are we losing connection? What's up with my Wi-Fi? Crap, my Wi-Fi doing this to me? My Wi-Fi really doing this to me? Come on now. Okay, I think we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry.
Balance and being lazy and all this crap. I don't believe in any of that. I believe in if you want to win, you have to outcompete the man who's prepared to do nothing but work. Player versus player.
Very deep shit. It was so real he
Out-
even made a
out-
fully
alpha him,
illustrated
bro.
online ebook about his time there. And while it may seem comical, these writings are a good precedent for the rest of his career. Some truth, some valuable information and insight mixed in with fantasy for his own
Oh, God.
reasons. But as we'll see, that fantasy becomes less and less obvious with time. Even at a very young age, Tate was actually expressing interest in stardom. When he was 21 years old, he managed to land a spot on British reality TV, traveling with teenagers across Asia.
Oh, he was
I am playing the game. I'm not interested in the money at the end. I'm not interested in
on reality TV. Of course he was.
And the only reason I'm interested in winning is because I don't think I'll be able to. I have to manipulate a lot of people to win. But that's what I want to do. I want to win just so I can go home and say, Yeah, I won. I manipulated them all. They somehow thought I was the best traveler.
This wouldn't last too long, however, as Andrew did have other aspirations in mind. Following his centuries-long stay in Wudang Mountain, as well as his time as a C-list TV star, Tate would return to regular society and begin a career in kickboxing. Throughout his career as a kickboxer, Tate proved himself to be an unorthodox, yet undeniably competent fighter. Moving up the ranks of semi-professional kickboxing, he would often receive praise from those who engaged with the sport. Tate versus Randall was always going to be a great fight, but Randall met his match with Tate. Another fighter with heavy hands, but with height reach and better kicking technique, held the cards to deal with Randall, an obvious big threat. The Randall-Tate fight was a good fight, but I just thought Tate was just a bit too much for Randall to handle. Before the formation of his larger-than-life character, the apparent alpha male we know today seemed far more humble and much more down-to-earth than he'd want to let on now.
My instructor makes sure I fight any rules that he fights. He's just like, oh, tomorrow against whoever, boxing.
Yeah. So obviously you've had.
Oh yeah, it's because that's before you develop the persona. It's before he really developed the character. I think he got a bit of a taste on the character when he was on the reality TV show, because he's playing up his cockiness, right? He's playing up the cockiness. Here you're just really doing like interviews, like amateur. Don't want to say amateur, but you're doing like sort of semi-underground kickboxing, right? So it's not really a need for a character unless he develops it further into his kickboxing career.
Had your stint kind of doing a bit of reality TV. What's the ultimate goal within fighting for you? Other than being ultimate challenger, traveler.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I don't know if I have a goal in fighting as such. I do it because I enjoy it.
Okay. You're good at it.
I'm all right.
Also, his British accent is way more pronounced. Way more pronounced in these older videos.
Remained a formidable opponent. His technique, supposedly derived from his father's strategy when playing chess, was unusual and overly aggressive, relying on his strength to brute force opponents as quickly as possible. Good to see that he's—
Does that not sound like a movie thing though? Oh yeah, I learned my boxing technique from watching a family member play chess. You see, and in reality, chess is a strategic game like kickboxing. Like you ever heard of the anime Baki, Baki Hamura? I could totally see that being like an explanation for like a super move one of the characters use in that show.
He's putting his signature Tate Shinkai to good use.
Tate
Soon he would
Shinkai.
begin
I
picking
can't
up
believe that's
sponsorship
still
deals, notably with boxing equipment distributor Sidekick. And even after his retirement, it seems both Tate and Sidekick seem to be on good terms. To this day, Sidekick features Cobra shin pads and guards on their front page, referencing Tate's kickboxing name, King Cobra.
Because I'm one of the best kickboxers in the world, arguably the best, especially in my own mind, I would personally say that I'm the best kickboxer ever.
You see, this is the personality. This is clearly him sort of playing into the personality bit, I would say.
Anyway, Sidekick sponsor me. So what they do is they send me money and they send me equipment. And when I'm fighting or when I'm training, etc., I use the equipment, I beat everyone up, and everyone thinks, wow, Andrew's amazing, so we need to try the same equipment. So my Sidekick money came yesterday. I played a bit of Baccarat, and I managed to turn my small Sidekick— well, I say small, they pay me £1,000 a month, my Sidekick money into 1, 2, 3, 21 grand.
Yeah, you see, I think this is where we see like definitive Andrew Tate, alpha male extraordinaire. This is where we start seeing that sort of side of him.
So this video is to say thank you to Sidekick for the sponsorship, and thank you for sending me lucky money, because now I know that Sidekick's money, I'll always become a millionaire off Baccarat.
However, in December of 2016, Tate would lose a championship with a first-round KO.
Oh, dang.
And as a result, promptly made the decision to retire from kickboxing. There's no doubt in my mind that Tate is a proficient fighter. Some will question the validity of the claim that he's 4-time kickboxing world champion, but as you can imagine, that's not quite my expertise. I'll leave that to any kickboxing aficionado out there to decide. Besides, as you'll see, there's far more nefarious shenanigans that Andrew got up to beyond his questionable kickboxing record. One thing worth noting is that even at this stage in his life, Andrew had a knack for showmanship. In videos on YouTube, he can be seen connecting with the audience audience and attempting to win over the crowd with his charms. Following his generally successful kickboxing career, in 2016, Andrew would find himself on the British version of the hit reality TV show Big Brother. On day 4 of the show, Tate gathered a handful of housemates over, proclaiming that 8 out of 10 of them were snakes. Lots of
Snakes,
tomfoolery ensued.
liars.
After a lot of verbal conflict, 2 contestants decided to break out of the Big Brother house, only to return a few hours later.
Genuinely 8 of you. Genuinely 8 of you are the piss taken. I'm telling you, I'm telling you what I've seen. From what I've seen, 8 of you, snakes. You know, snakes.
I think in these I think he's trying to play up the British accent a bit. That's probably what's going on. I think either he's forcing himself to have a more natural American accent in the newer stuff, or he's trying to force the British accent here.
Saying to someone that you're upset they're evicted after voting for them, not arguing with someone to their face and slagging them off to the diary room. These are things I've been shown. This is all I've been shown.
And when I walked in there, I decided to cause chaos. And I walked in there and said, look, you're all snakes and you all bitch about each other. Because I've been seeing it all. I don't trust any of you. It's my first words. And the house erupted. All the dudes started threatening me, so trying to act like tough guys. They obviously didn't know my pedigree, right? They didn't know who I was.
There's no doubt that he was very entertaining on TV. However, after
They clearly didn't know who I was.
just 11 days in the Big Brother house,
Yo, I wonder if Andrew Tate's gonna see this video. Not my video. I mean Turkey Tom's video. I wonder if he's gonna see Turkey Tom's video. And if he does, I wonder how he'll react to it.
Andrew would be ejected after a UK tabloid, The Sun, posted video footage of Tate beating his then girlfriend and verbally abusing her. In the clip, he threatens to fucking kill her if she messages other men and
Jesus. Sweet Jesus. Damn.
demands that she says she loves him. The accusations were heavily refuted by Tate, who claimed it was just a kinky sex video with a Ukrainian ex-girlfriend from 2012, and that the producers just used it as an excuse to evict him from the house. Andrew would later make a statement on Twitter claiming that the actions shown in the video were indeed consensual and that the belt used was made out of felt. He then went on to claim that the Sun had doctored the footage in order to make the video look way worse than it actually was. However, a third video featuring a different girl was released by yet another British tabloid, the Daily Star. In the video, Andrew records the girl in question pointing out bruises on her body. She claims she was beaten with Andrew's hand. After going to grab his belt, the girl walks out the door, locking Tate inside, prompting him to shout, "That's right, lock the door, you fucking bitch. You knew I was going to beat the fuck out of you. If you behaved, I wouldn't have to hit you, would I?"
Baby. Oh, poor thing. I have an idea.
What the heck?
You know my idea is? You wanna know what my idea is? That's right, lock the door, you knew I was gonna beat the f out of you. If you behaved, I wouldn't have to hit you, would I? You don't.
I'm sure Mr. Girl would love. I'm sure Mr. Girl would love, absolutely love, to have someone of Andrew Tate's caliber on his show. And you know what? Andrew Tate would probably be willing to do it too.
Get out. You can't stay in there forever.
Days later, the Mirror claims that Tate was considering legal action in response to the video's publication. After all, it was a private video that had been allegedly sold without the permission of the reality star or his partner. He compared the leak of the video to revenge porn in a tweet asking followers, "Should me and the girl in the vid press charges against Redacted, who distributed the vid? Hashtag Big Brother UK, hashtag revenge porn." Despite his apparent eagerness to prosecute,
Damn.
the case would seemingly go nowhere, and his efforts at damage control would be in vain. It was inevitably not enough to prevent the tidal wave of criticism coming his way. Following the accusation, studio heads released a statement. Channel 5 and the producers reached the view that Andrew's position as a housemate had become untenable after a video was brought to our attention by The Sun. In the years following his premature exit, Andrew would claim that his forceful ejection from the show came because producers were afraid of a fight taking place after Andrew was supposedly threatened by a number of the housemates.
So anyway, we got into a disagreement with the producer, and then eventually they just booted me out for some unknown reason. And the truth was,
Just booted
they
him out.
realized across months, sooner or later, one of these guys is going to swing and get hurt. And they just thought, look, we have to kick someone out. Better to kick one guy out than all 5 of the other dudes. So I had to go. That was the end of my Big Brother story after 11 days.
Following his many shenanigans on shows like Big Brother and his decision to retire from kickboxing, Tate would become acquainted with the growing online manosphere. The first case of Tate going semi-viral for his views on this came in September of 2017. Tate had tweeted out about his views on depression. There are very few
Oh, he's been active. He's been active in like that kind of like dude bro scene since 2017. I did not know that. Jesus.
Fat, lonely men, age 60, with no money or families or hobbies, who aren't depressed. This is not a clinical disease. It is a circumstance which they must change. Most depressed people are unhappy with their lives, too lazy to change it. That's simple. So people defend depression. They get angry when I say this, because they need this bullshit to justify their own failures. Twitter wasn't having it. The
I can imagine.
prompted both users and celebrities to attack the insensitiveness of Andrew's comments. I've never heard of Andrew Tate, but this is proof that it only takes one tweet to realize what a complete, ignorant knob someone is. Other things we can assume Andrew Tate doesn't believe in: reasoned arguments, science, evidence, medical research, doctors, pharmacology. This is possibly the worst, most ill-advised, poorly educated.
I will say he knows how to make people mad. He knows how to step on toes.
Emboldened Tates to stir the pot even further. Everyone's depressed nowadays, tweeting me, "I'm depressed," and I think, wow, it must suck to lose at life that hard. Boo-hoo. Since my post, I've had tons of previously and currently depressed people telling me I'm 100% correct. The way depression is so violently defended is strange. So desperate to be unhappy and have an excuse to not change it. Very odd. Depression is overprescribed by 10,000%. Weakness is celebrated. Personal responsibility is absolved. That's the reality.
And if you want to be an alpha male like him, then you need to subscribe to Andrew Tate and get his Hustlers course, Hustlers University. I'm sure Tom's gonna mention Hustlers University later on in the video, but like I could totally see him like segueing that, like, hey, depression is for the weak. You're not depressed. To show that you're not depressed, you need to buy my course, you know? Something like that, right?
Big Pharma supports the depression lie. You can't fix it yourself. Tate is crazy. It can only be cured with meds. Keep popping the pills.
And I'm super against that as an individual. I'm super against like antidepressants and things. I know some people say they help them and they work. Maybe they do. But the idea of taking a pill that changes the way my mind works is scary to me. Me too. And I think it's always better to have your own mind as it is before you start taking fucking pills.
Yeah. This would begin Tate's initiation into the manosphere. It would be a turning point in his life, using it as an opportunity to propel him to the forefront of e-celebrity. The manosphere refers to an idea that was cultivated over many years in reaction to movements such as third-wave feminism, that idea being the return of traditional masculinity. It seeks to dismantle modern ideas like toxic masculinity.
Oh god, fresh and fit, they are arguably more frauds. They are more shysters. Whatever word you want to use to describe scammers. They are that 100%. Also, they're copyright abusers, so F them.
And fight against the feminization of society,
The feminization of society.
and so on. Tate put the basic perspective of his view of the manosphere best on his website. Society is influencing you for society's well-being.
We're all betas compared to him, lol. True, Vanessa.
I'll teach you the truth about life. Whatever your personal thoughts on the idea of the manosphere are, it seems very obvious that since it hit the mainstream consensus, it's been filled with scam artists, sociopaths, and grifters who are making huge sums of money off of other men. These people are simply using the growing momentum of the idea to fill their own pockets. What could be more Sigma than that? As for whether Andrew is a genuine
we need to get the Sigma male music in here, boys.
Simply looking to profit,
I don't care if it's copyrighted.
Men searching for some sense of belonging is something I'll let you decide over the next few minutes. Tate would use this growing movement to appeal to a vast array of discontent men, willing to put money down to learn from the best. This would culminate in Tate's most recent and most viral business venture.
Yeah, Hustlers University.
Hustlers University. According to Tate's website, very few people have the dedication and work ethic to operate in the top 1% of men. Those that do often don't know how to get there. Understand, if you're dedicated and ready to work hard, it's not enough. You need to know what to work on, what to dedicate yourself to.
You need to know.
The Matrix, and I will teach you how. When rich people say how to get rich, 99% don't listen. That's why the 1% are the 1%.
When I talk about the Matrix, I'm talking about the systems which have been created by society, which
You see, when I talk about the Matrix, I'm talking about the constraints society places on men.
deliberately designed to enslave. In the movie, the Matrix were used for our body heat, but here in this Matrix, we're used for our efforts and our energies. And you're existing inside of a system which is deliberately rigged to make the rich richer and for the poor to stay poor.
Made up of a series of courses seeking to make you an alpha male, the university includes stock analysis, body language, crypto analysis, fitness, financial planning, business management, and more. But some of the most interesting are the affiliate marketing and networking courses. If you've ever wondered why there seems to be so many accounts dedicated to posting and reposting clips of Andrew Tate's most controversial moments, it's because they're all part of Tate's affiliate marketing scheme. In a nutshell, Tate has a number of people working for him, dedicating their time to making him go viral. They sit around on computers, posting clips of him from podcast appearances.
This is true, like I can't tell you how many accounts I've seen post several different clips, sometimes the same clip over and over again, of Andrew Tate saying something controversial on a podcast that he was on, his own podcast, an old video that he did, like I said in the beginning. Say what you want about him, he clearly knows what to do in terms of marketing. He has the capital to do so. So like on like some weird level, I do respect him for that. You know, like, hey, you know, like he's able to market himself well, you know?
Appearances and videos he's made, spamming them out to the internet in the hopes some of them will blow up. They'll make slight alterations to the same clip of Andrew, add sound effects, give it different thumbnails, and upload it onto social media sites like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, using all of these to funnel traffic to Tate's website through the outrage and interest generated. If you generate traffic for Tate, then you receive a percentage of whatever that sale is, whether it be someone buying a subscription for Hustlers University or something else. This is why YouTube Shorts are absolutely polluted with accounts like Tate Speech, Tate Daily, Chronicles of Tate, Tate Brothers Clips,
oh god, there's too many of them,
and Tate Playboy. There are hundreds of accounts on YouTube right now providing constantly expanding marketing for Tate with small commissions for those who actually run them.
Way too many, way too many.
A monthly fee of $49.99. All that money being funneled straight into the pocket of Tate and his personally verified professors. Frankly, it's an ingenious
personally
scheme.
verified.
I
personally
take the piss
verified.
out of his outrageous character a little bit, but behind the facade is a man who knows what he's doing and is certainly smarter than he lets on when running his mouth. I mean, it's called the Hustlers University for a reason. Were you expecting him not to hustle you?
If you don't sell anything, then the idea would have never worked in the first place.
His actions and the character he's cultivated, however unappealing to some, is a walking, talking advertisement for his business. And whatever outrage comes from it only boosts that further. All press is good press to Andrew Tate. His declaration to fight Jake Paul is the perfect example of the use of outrage culture to fuel attention. It doesn't matter whether or not the fight even takes place. The fact that Tate made the video in the first place was enough to fuel controversy and press, especially as YouTube boxing continues to become a staple of the site today.
$3 million. You put three, I put three. Winner takes all. I'm 5 years out the ring.
Hey, you know what? Hey, this is like the same stuff that like Jake does too. So like, dude, like imagine if like Jake would actually respond. The entertaining call out videos we would get from these guys. Look, I'm just saying, I would love to say it.
I'm boxing. I've never even fought boxing. I'm a retired old man. 5 years I've been sitting around smoking cigars and fucking bitches, which are better looking than the fucking girl you're advertising anyway.
What about him calling out PewDiePie? For a man who claims that those who criticize him are clout chasers, he seems to do a good job of calling out the 4th most subscribed YouTube channel to drum up attention. However, there's another course on Tate's Hustlers University, one that has since had its description on the sales page removed. The course, titled Change Your Relationship with Women, at one point had a series of risque statements regarding Tate's other business ventures.
Ooh.
You'd think that Tate had made most of his
is that
riches
about
through his
the
kickboxing
campsite?
career,
I wonder.
But according to Tate himself, he only ever made a maximum of $100,000 for a match. While that's nothing to scoff at if you have 1 or 2 fights a year, it's a drop in the ocean compared to his current net worth, widely reported at around $30 million. So the question turns to how Tate made the rest of his riches. If not through kickboxing, then what else could it be?
We're going to start a webcam business. You're going to stay. You're going to live in London. I'm going to look after you, and we're going to get rich. We're going to be a team. And they're all like, well, who's this bitch? I'm like, she's my girlfriend. She's my girlfriend. She's my girl. You're all my chicks. And you're going to stay here, and we're going to make some money.
And repression person's like, Fresh Fruit's like, whoa, dude. Yeah, that's how a man should treat women, bro. They need to know that. They need to know that the man owns them. Like, I can't, like, dude, when, like, Abba and Preach do videos on Fresh and Fit, I can hardly watch through the clips that they use. Like, imagine trying to get through a whole Fresh and Fit episode. That's, oh, God.
Big fight kicks off, blah, 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 blah. In the end,
Andrew Tate, more like Andrew Bass. That's right, Jay. That's right. You see, unlike many other people, and Jay is a true alpha male. He knows what he's talking about. He knows.
Apartment, and it just grew and grew and grew, and it got to the point where at one point I had 75 women working for me in 4 locations, and I was doing $600,000.
Dang,
Tate
dude,
ran a
dang.
webcam studio for years. According to Tate himself, over 50% of the employees were actually my girlfriend at one time. None were in the adult entertainment
I'm calling
industry
BS.
before they
I'm
met me.
calling
He
BS.
continues, divulging how his job was to get women to fall in love with me, to where she'd do anything that I'd say, and then get her on webcam. Tate even created his own course independent of the Hustlers University called Make Millions with Internet Pimping. Having lots of gorgeous women around you is great, but getting paid to do so
Make
is better.
millions of
While other
internet
men
pimping.
spend their hard-earned cash on retaining women, you will be having the women working for you and putting hard, cold cash in your pocket. You will learn how to convince girls to work for you, how to start a webcam company from home with zero investment, how to do banking
Zero
and
investment.
taxes so that you can get paid day one, the best way to motivate women to make you rich, tips and tricks from over 7 years in the game, a full breakdown of how to earn $30K per month.
How many? I wonder how many suckers fell for that. I'm just curious. How many suckers fell for that?
Profit from only 3
I mean,
girls.
it's still up,
It is
so
worth noting, of
clearly
course, that you have
someone.
to dish out around $2,000 for this course. Obviously, with quotes like that, the nature of the business was somewhat questionable, and it led to accusations of exploitation and even human trafficking from his critics. Another British newspaper,
Yeah,
The Mirror, published a
speaking
scathing
of.
article which described the Tate brothers as callous for facilitating men donating a fortune after falling for the fabricated sob stories of some 75 lingerie-clad models. The more money they donated, the more models, consequently promoting a culture of guilt-tripping simps in order for fatter checks.
I want to tell you that I like you very much. I consider you to be my soulmate.
Oh, how nice that is. But remember, soulmates can get together. If you pay extra, of course.
Some women will claim to have crippling university debt, a sick pet, a family member in need of private health care, or
Yeah, we see that. We see this all the time on Twitch. We see it all the time.
a dream of moving to the UK, sometimes even telling men they want to meet them. However, the Tates seemed very confident that 2 specific lines in their terms and conditions could legally facilitate the blatant lies being perpetuated to users. The idea that the shows are for entertainment purposes only allows for the truth to be stretched for sympathy. The next is that all cash given to models is a voluntary sign of gratitude for their time broadcasting, rather than the actual reason, which the Mirror described as sob stories. Tristan Tate fired back, claiming that he runs a legitimate business, and if they abuse it, that it's their problem. The addiction, in terms of a beautiful woman you think might be in love with you, the addiction is very real. I've seen it crush them. They've turned violent and angry when they run out of money and realize models aren't going to move to Utah to be with them in their trailer. The web shows cost around $4 per minute, with both Andrew and Tristan supposedly calling the business a big scam. Tristan bragged that one man had donated his £20,000 inheritance to one cam girl, with
I mean, I believe it. Like, you know how many stories we've seen of like dudes donating like their whole like rent pay to Pokemon and them getting kicked out. You know, we've seen this plenty of times before.
countless others going into debt to facilitate their parasocial relationships with these cam girls. Tristan went on to say that he doesn't feel any guilt because no one cares, and it's their problem, not mine. The 2 brothers would eventually move permanently to Romania, with one girl who moved with the brothers to Bucharest under the pseudonym Chloe, lying to men by telling them that she was actually in London. Andrew would tell the newspaper $4 a minute to keep her company was a good deal. However, she made her real money because men fell in love with her and believed her fake story, and tipped thousands to keep her attention and stop other men from seeing her. He, much like his
Jesus.
brother, also called the business a total scam. Even when the face of the personality was sleeping, our girls behind the scenes would use Chloe's phone and constantly work on the relationships with her boyfriends. The model just has their hands on a keyboard that isn't even plugged in. I have real professionals who are fluent in English behind the scenes getting men hooked, finding out their interests, and the name of their dog. A guy will come online and they'll say, "How's Sparky?" It's an operation of professionals who lure these men in.
So, okay, so at the peak of my webcam business, I got to the point where I would only be having sex to reward the girls who made me most money. Because
you made the most money. You get to sleep with me. Oh, okay. What such a reward, am I right, boys? Am I right, boys?
because what happened was the girls are working not for money, they're working to please me. Right. Because they love me. So they're working for attention. But I have too many girls. So if you only have half an hour per day per girl to spend time with the girl,
it's like a word problem. Was this on the SATs for scumbags? Is that Andrew runs trains on 3
Andrew and his brother made millions off of making
or how a dude sold all of his stuff to try and stock Amaranth. I remember that. Dude was from a foreign country too.
Who have pathetically decided to pay these women for attention. The fact that he facilitated this for years and now seeks to provide advice against it may seem hypocritical, especially considering how many millions both he and Tristan made from pimping out cam girls. Little did the Tate brothers know, their supposed immunity from public prosecution was less than guaranteed. You may think that the two brothers moved to Romania to avoid regulation, taxation, or maybe even litigation groups, but in reality, it was because UK police raided Andrew's home. A dispute between a cam girl and Tate led to her reporting to the police that she had been beaten by him. In response, his home was raided and Tate was put under arrest. Andrew Tate explains this
I remember
further on the
this.
Fresh and Fit podcast.
Got her by her 2 arms and marched her out the door, locked the door, end of it. She starts texting me, you owe me my last month's wages, you owe me my money, give me my money. Did I text her back? I ain't paying you nothing, you threw up my blah, 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 blah. She went to the police.
Oh, shit.
And told the police I hit her when I didn't.
Tate's attempt to distance himself.
Even if I did hit her, I have the right as the alpha male. Now, I could totally see him saying that.
From his arrest in the UK by moving abroad would be in vain. On the evening of April 11th, 2022, Romanian police would kick down the door to the Tate brothers' shared mansion. The internet would instantly begin speculating the reason as to why Andrew and Tristan were arrested. After news broke via news articles by American newspaper The Daily Beast, it was confirmed that they were arrested under suspicion of human trafficking. The hit piece, King of Toxic Masculinity, Human Trafficking Investigation.
I remember Leon Lush did a video on this article. I remember this.
Rather much notoriety online. YouTubers would upload critiques of Tate following his arrest in Romania, where further details of his earlier escapades, such as the prior videos of him beating women, were unearthed. All of this contributed to the idea that the
this
Tate
dude is totally what I
guilty of
pictured Tate's haters to look like.
On the run from authorities for their crimes.
Hey,
Of course,
I never
Twitter
said I
also
was a
got
hater.
involved following the arrest. A series of memes parodying Tate's infamous Star
War Room
Wars
changed
tweet
my
was
life.
posted, ridiculing Tate's character and arrest. A thread by Twitter user Bimbo Isis, like the Daily Beast article, sought to expose
Hustlers
Tate for many of
University
his
changed
past
my life. Okay.
controversies and his connections to far-right political figures such as Paul Joseph Watson. Sources claimed the investigation
I mean,
was
hey, that's good
launched
for
after
you.
A young woman from the USA claimed she had been abducted by the Tate brothers. During the raids, the police discovered another young woman from Romania who, in turn, claimed that she was forcibly kept in the house by the Tate brothers.
Oh, dang.
The investigation had been extended to cover not only human trafficking, but also crimes such as rape. The mother of the young
Dwayne
Romanian
Rock
woman
Johnson
found by
was
the police
sexist.
claimed her daughter's naivete had been exploited. It was the boyfriend of the young American who managed to alert authorities to the supposed captivity of his girlfriend. In a statement on the raid to the Daily Beast, a U.S. State Department spokesperson alluded to a reported abduction of an American citizen, but declined to comment further. We are aware of the reports of a U.S. citizen held against their will in Romania, the spokesperson said. Due to privacy considerations,
Scuffing him like balls in his mouth. Well, I hate to tell you, but he does. I'm sorry, he does, and he does in fact like balls in his mouth.
we have no further comment. Tate's response to the outcry was to characteristically post an image of him smoking a cigar and a faux interrogation photo shoot on his Instagram. The caption stating, "Officer, I think we can all agree that bitches love to lie." Later that same day, April 14th,
Officer, She was asking for it. She was asking for it, officer.
Andrew would post his own perspective on the arrest and why it took place.
And after they slept together, he ignored her one day. Hey, let's go out for dinner. Ignored her, kept ignoring her. Then turns out she has a boyfriend. So the boyfriend found out she was with Tristan. So now she's in a hard situation, right? Because she doesn't want to admit to her boyfriend she's been cheating with the guy who now ignores her completely. So she says, oh, yeah, but I was with him, but I didn't want to be. I was at their house and I couldn't leave. Like she was kidnapped. Even though all of our CCTV, which the police now have, prove that she
I went from broken, ugly, and useless like nerdy to dark, rich, and handsome like Andrew Tate.
Calls the police.
Andrew Tate respectfully disagreed with the online consensus around his arrest.
Very
After a
yummy,
3-hour
very
interrogation,
yummy.
The Tate brothers were free to return to their home as police searched for any evidence of human trafficking, abduction, and so on. The fact that the Tates had their computers, cameras, and phones returned to them so quickly shows the sketchy grounds that the case was built on, undermining a lot of the outrage the arrest initially generated online.
This is a good one, because I love this. Because everyone
Jace.
who dislikes us and hates us.
Gussedum says, I'd rather not. I'd rather not.
Yeah. That's why we're on a podcast and like completely free in our house. Is house arrest? I mean, what is this?
That being said, there is some conspiracy involved here. A recording of Michael
Warhammer Dark Tide has been delayed. I'm very upset right now. The toxic masculinity is strong with this one, John. LOL. Hey, you know what? We got Creed in here. We got Creed in here to discuss Warhammer 40k lore. You know, I'm here for it. You know, I am nerdy John. I am nerdy John. So hey, Creed, proceed to talk about Warhammer 40k lore, please. I would love to hear it.
Brock, better known as Michael Brooks in right-wing circles, alongside figures such as Paul Joseph Watson, claimed that Tate was in fact a legit gangsta, and that the real reason he's a multi-millionaire is due to him laundering a huge amount.
Would you believe that I am Tate on an alt account? Well, I mean, hey, if you're Andrew Tate on an alt account, I would love to talk to you, Tate. I would love to talk to you, Andrew Tate.
Amount of the Romanian mob's money. He goes on to claim that if Tate wanted, he could have people killed.
IRL, he's actually a multimillionaire because he launders the Romanian mafia's money. So, unironically, this guy's like a legit gangster, and if he wanted to, I'm pretty sure he could have people killed.
Could this be the reason for his special treatment by Romanian
No,
police?
LOL,
says
scuff him.
Was dismissed? Well, maybe. Andrew certainly gets off on being seen as a John Gotti-esque figure, even bragging about his supposed association with organized crime.
And they kind of looked at me, you know, typical Eastern European mafia. Imagine, you know, fat, bald, cigar, exactly like you'd imagine them to be. And they're like, why do you need you?
Michael Brooks' association with friends of Tate, like Paul Joseph Watson, may bring validation to what otherwise would be an outlandish claim. And after everything we've covered, would you really be surprised if this was the next twist in Andrew's antics? And speaking of other business ventures, even prior to his arrest, YouTubers would begin piling on
The War
exposés of
Room.
the controversial Andrew Tate and the shady practices he orchestrates. The most prominent was the video by Danny Gonzalez called
It's a video game you've been waiting for 2 years
and as of
now.
writing this video, it has surpassed 4 million views. The video looks at an alternative course created by
Join the
Andrew
War
Tate for
Room
those
to
who want
reach
even more
me
out of their Hustlers
and to
University
upgrade your life.
often
I'll
taking
consider
time
it.
to
I'll
satirize
consider
both
it.
Andrew's character and his business venture. Andrew himself describes the War Room as the greatest global network which exists on planet Earth. The War Room is for men who understand something
War
is missing.
Room.
Men who see that not many are taking life seriously, and the few that are have been easily exploiting the unaware. The more intelligent you are, the more you realize and notice something important. There is a level of human existence that very few get to experience. Many people are blind. Many people do not believe it exists. The War Room is for men who understand it does exist.
Am I the only one that thinks Andrew probably smells his own fingers? Probably. Yes, talk to Tate and crap on him, LMAO, at Creed. Is it a good game? Well, it's a game that's not out yet. Midnight Black, you don't?
It is possible and refuse to live their entire life without access. The War Room is for men who will die without regret. Sounds pretty cool. Oh right, it's $4,000. And if you want the elite package deal, that'll be almost $8,000. He goes on
The
to
Danny
allude to the
vid is a
idea
banger,
that
by
this
the way.
opportunity
Okay,
is
cool.
only
I'll have to
open for a
check it
limited
out sometime.
This chance won't last forever. Soon, membership will close. The War Room members and their sons will remain the closed wielders of global influence into eternity. You will never be allowed to prove yourself and join. You and your family will only suffer losses as the War Room members endlessly win. I promise you, you are running out of time. Are you ready to be unplugged? Ironically, this section of the page has remained for years, and the War Room has no signs of closing its doors. Now, as much as I'd love to join this group, I'm not shilling that kind of money, and luckily I don't have to. Alexander has reviewed his insightful experience for all of us. According to Alexander Graves, the War Room is made up of a series of Telegram groups split into many different topics. Apparently, there are over 150 different chat rooms for members. The things you will see in the War Room are not for the public eye, not because it is some fraud or even mafia type of group, because feminists, leftists, and the corporate world want you to keep being a cog in the system. Tate achieved pure freedom with what he does, and because he speaks the truth. That's why he gets banned all the time.
Speaks
He goes on to write, "Isn't Tate just a big misogynistic ass?" When I first read some things from him online, I thought the same. Luckily, I am not quick to decide on what I think of people, and I dug deeper. If you watch a bunch of clips on YouTube and see how they really are and what they say, you will quickly realize that
Jay,
they're
you
good
clipped
guys. We
something?
don't just bow down to
The War
societal
Room
bullshit.
fire,
Alexander
says Midnight
divulges how the
Black.
advertised War Room live events had costs reaching up to $5,000 alone per event, not including travel expenses.
Hang on. What did you... Andrew Tate, more like Andrew Bass. That's right, Jay. That's right. You see, unlike many other people, and Jay is a true alpha male. He knows what he's talking about. He knows. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Now, this review is clearly somewhat biased. In fact, the original version seemed to admit any negative criticism of Andrew and had nothing but praise. Even if he did have a positive impression of the War Room, surely there would be something negative he had to say. Well, Alexander eventually updated it a few months later after its original publication. This is notable because he provides a far more critical view of his experience in the group. He even goes as far as to admit that the War Room is supposedly akin to a cult. Yes, it sort of became that sadly. You can't really question what they're doing or you'll just be talked to shit. I wonder if I will be contacted for this update of my review. Back then, they actually reached out to help me change the copy of my review a bit so it sells better. Sounds nice, but to me the intent seemed to be more along the lines of, make sure there is no bad talk about it. It certainly explains the original review's biased tone towards figures like the Tates and their inner circle. Speaking of Tate's inner circle, the guys in the mess hall and the initial groups really are almost zealots to the Tates. They suck up everything without questioning anything. Plus, Tate is not afraid to lie. He even prides himself in having tricked a lie detector. If you do a little research, you'll never find anything about him being a 4-time kickboxing world champion. He does know how to fight, and he certainly did do it.
What? You mean Andrew Tate lied? What? I'm shocked. I'm appalled.
Professionally, but I couldn't find anything about his actual titles. His review critiques the current state of the War Room. He claims that as the organization continued and more people joined, asking the same questions, the War Room eventually became a funnel to sell Tate's
Andrew
own
Tate
products
versus
and
Willie
courses.
Mack on
Now,
Wednesday.
there are so many people in the War Room,
That
they're
would
just
be
tired of
interesting.
answering the same
That would be
questions over and
interesting.
over again. So if you pose a question, you just get redirected to a course that covers it. I get it, you know, but as a customer, it still looks salesy. Plus, there are many other creators in those rooms now that have their own courses they sell in the groups and rooms. So there's a lot of selling. But regardless of whatever negative impressions there may be of Hustlers University and of the War Room, one thing that is undeniable is their success. While we don't have exact figures, Andrew has claimed to be making more than $200,000 a month from Hustlers University alone. And it's clearly a business he intends on expanding. While his profile has been rising for years, 2022 marked an important turn in his story. He went from being known only within the manosphere to being in the cultural zeitgeist of the
Oh
entire
yeah, didn't
internet.
him and his
Instead
son
of
have a
just
debate or
talking to
something like
Fresh and
that?
Fit, now he's been exposed to the audiences of some of the biggest internet personalities. Greek God X, Trainwrecks, XQC, Aiden Ross.
You'd have to be a megalomaniac to not doubt yourself.
Oh yeah, and then like I think Oompaville did an interview with him. I still need to check that out. But apparently it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
If you're an idiot, or you're crap, or you're shit at things, of course you're going to doubt yourself, because you should. Because you fail all the time. The only way you're going to start to not doubt yourself is if you show some competence. If you grow into a competent individual and perpetually succeed, as I do. I don't doubt myself because I never fail. So why would I doubt myself when I've never failed?
All of these people have talked to Tate extensively on streams and no doubt raised his profile tenfold. And during every appearance,
Gotta pay to play,
in
says
between
Midnight
bravado
Black.
and platitudes about masculinity, Andrew makes sure to plug Hustlers University.
Master of attention.
Andrew Tate is no doubt a fascinating human being, and in some ways even brilliant. His discipline,
Yes, Hassan
his
got
ambition,
cooked
his
on
mental
that one.
fortitude, his
Like,
self-reliance, his
rare
culture action,
Hassan
and
W.
even his intelligence are the aspects of his character he wishes to
Andrew
self-post in
Andrew
order to
Tate
sell
fraud?
you the most.
My
In
God,
reality,
no.
his one most impressive ability is in getting attention. I mean, the most popular e-celebrities in the world are talking about him every day. Some are loving him, some are hating him, but at this point, he can't be ignored. Andrew Tate is undeniable. People think my ideas are strange, but I was raised to be an individual. Conformism is not in my genes. Sometimes my words seem offensive, but I only want to be thought-provoking in a world where too many people are losing the capacity to think independently. Is he mobbed up? I feel it'd be unwise to make a definitive statement in that regard, but at the very least,
Maybe.
he wants you to think that he is. Much like shock rockers of old, like Marilyn Manson, Tate thrives off of the attention you give him. The rumors, the hate, that all plays to his success.
We do not give Hassan the W's. He's a piece of crap, says Creed.
But whether or not there's any substance to Andrew Tate, once you peel back the layers, or if he's merely a businessman doing what they do best, is something I'll leave up to you. I've been Turkey Tom. Thanks for watching, and until next time,
Leave me alone. But yeah, that was a really good video. I would say that's a really good video by Turkey Tom. Let me pull up our outro song, because, yeah, that was... I would say that was a pretty good video. Tom really did well with his research. I think it's safe to say that Andrew, you know, he's half trolling and half not, because clearly the money he gets from this is real. I think it's probably safe to say he's like semi-grifting from this, like semi-grifting. Tate the Goat, upgrade your life to live as a what is that? Or live as a fodder, or folder. Okay, whatever. Facts, Creed. Facts. Yo, base Creed. And no more to give. There we go. Might take a minute for the song to load. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Yeah, but thank you guys for watching. This is Nerdy John, signing out.
I've tried, and I've tried even more. I've cried, and I can't recall what for. I pressed, I pushed, I've yelled, I begged in hopes of some success. But the inevitable fact is that it never will impress. I've no more fucks to give. My fucks have runneth dry. I've tried to go fuck shopping, but there's no fucks left to buy. I've no more fucks to give, though more fucks I've tried to get. I'm over my fuck budget and I'm now in fucking debt. I strive to get everything done. I've played by all the rules, but I've very rarely won. I've smiled, I've charmed, I've wooed and laughed, alas, to no avail. I've run round like a moron to unequivocally fail. I've no more fucks to give, my fuck fuse has just blown. I've been hunting for my fucks all day, but they've upped and fucked off home. I've no more fucks to give, my fuck rations are depleted. I've rallied my fuck army, but it's been fucking defeated. The effort has just not been worth the time or the expense. I've exhausted all my energy for minimal recompense. The distinct lack of acknowledgement has now begun to gall, and I've come to realize that I don't give a fuck at all. have flown away. My fucks are now so fucked off they refuse to fucking stay. I've no more fucks to give, my fucks have gone insane. They've come back round and passed me while they're fucking off again. I've no more fucks to give, my fucks have all dissolved. I plan many projects but my fucks won't be involved. I've no more fucks to give, my fucks have all been spent. They fucked off from the building and I don't know where they went. I've no more fucks to give.